At 12:50 a.m., a man dials 911 from the side of a dark Texas highway. His voice is frantic, confused, terrified. He says he's being chased. He says someone is following him. He says he's bleeding. Then suddenly the call cuts off. That man was Brandon Lawson, a 26-year-old father of 4. And after that night in August 2013, he was never seen alive again. No body, no confirmed sightings. No clear explanation. Only one chilling phone call. And more questions than answers. Welcome to Midnight Minute, where cold cases never go cold. Tonight, we're breaking down what really happened to Brandon Lawson. The theories, the timeline, and the disturbing details many people still argue about to this day. Before we talk about the night Brandon disappeared, we need to understand who he was, because this case is often misunderstood from the very beginning. Brandon Lawson was 26 years old, living in San Angelo, Texas. He was a father of 4 children and had been in an on and off relationship with his girlfriend. Friends and family described Brandon as protective, hard-working, devoted to his kids, and fiercely loyal to those he loved. But Brandon was also struggling. He had a history of substance abuse, including methamphetamine, and although he had made attempts to get clean, relapse was something his loved ones feared. Still, and this is important, no one believed Brandon would ever just disappear on purpose, especially not without contacting his children. On the night of the 8th of August 2013, Brandon left his home after an argument with his girlfriend. He got into his truck and began driving south on US Highway 277 toward the small town of Brontep, Texas. He never made it there. Sometime after midnight, Brandon called his brother, Kyle Lawson. His voice sounded wrong, not just upset, but panicked. Brandon told Kyle that his truck had run out of gas on the side of the highway. But then his story became confusing. He said he was being chased. He said there were people in the woods. He said he needed help immediately. Kyle got into his own vehicle and started driving toward Brandon's location. While on the phone, Brandon suddenly said, "There's blood everywhere." Then, "I'm bleeding." Kyle was terrified. He told Brandon to call 911. And Brandon did. That 911 call would later become one of the most debated emergency calls in true crime history. The 911 operator struggled to understand Brandon. His speech sounded rushed, sometimes slurred, sometimes frantic, but certain phrases stood out. Brandon said, "I'm in the middle of a field. I'm being chased. There's blood everywhere. I need help." At one point, Brandon said something that has been endlessly debated. Many listeners originally believed he said, "Yes, I'm talking to them right now." But later audio enhancement suggested he may have said, "Yes, I'm talking to you right now." That distinction matters because it changes everything. Was Brandon surrounded by people? Or was he simply confused and responding to the operator? The call abruptly ended. 911 attempted to call him back. No answer. Kyle arrived near the location Brandon had described. He found Brandon's truck parked on the side of Highway 277. The engine was off. The doors were closed. The truck was locked. There were no obvious signs of a struggle. Kyle called 911 himself. Law enforcement arrived and conducted a brief search of the surrounding area. But the terrain was rough. Tall grass, thick brush, ravines, oil fields, livestock fencing. It was dark, dangerous, and difficult to search thoroughly. After a short time, officers called off the search. Brandon Lawson was officially considered missing, despite Brandon's claim that he was bleeding and that there was blood everywhere. Investigators found no blood No footprints, no personal belongings, no phone, no clothing, no weapon, nothing. Search teams returned multiple times with dogs, helicopters, volunteers, family members, still nothing. It was as if Brandon had vanished into the night. One of the most commonly cited explanations is that Brandon was experiencing drug-induced paranoia. Methamphetamine can cause hallucinations, extreme fear, delusions, confusion, erratic behavior. Some believe Brandon imagined people chasing him and ran into the wilderness, becoming disoriented. But there's a problem with this theory. Brandon was coherent enough to call his brother, explain his location call, 911, describe events, and if he was hallucinating, where is his body? Even experienced drug users don't simply disappear without leaving some trace. Another theory suggests Brandon may have been injured, possibly falling into a ravine, culvert, or abandoned well. Supporters of this theory believe he may have been bleeding internally, he could have collapsed somewhere, hidden wildlife, or the environment concealed evidence. Texas terrain can be deceptive. Tall grass can hide bodies within feet of the road. But again, searches were extensive, and Brandon's family insists he would have been found. Some believe Brandon encountered someone else that night. Possibilities include a confrontation with strangers, an argument gone wrong, being struck by a vehicle, being intentionally harmed, but there is no direct evidence of another person's involvement. No witnesses, no security footage, no known enemies. Still, Brandon's fear felt real. And fear doesn't come from nowhere. One of the most chilling details involves the 911 call audio. Some listeners believe they hear a second voice movement, someone responding to Brandon. Others say it's audio distortion or wind. Law enforcement maintains there is no confirmed second voice. But the debate continues. Brandon's family refused to give up. For years, they searched fields themselves. They posted flyers, shared the case online, pushed law enforcement for renewed efforts. Brandon's brother Kyle has said, "I'll never stop looking for him." As time passed, no bank activity, no phone pings, no sightings, no remains. Brandon was legally declared dead years later, but the case remained unsolved. Until, in 2022, nearly 9 years later, human remains were discovered less than a mile from where Brandon's truck was found. DNA testing confirmed the remains belonged to Brandon Lawson. The cause of death, undetermined. No trauma could be conclusively identified. The discovery brought closure, but not answers. So what happened to Brandon Lawson? Was it drug-induced panic, a tragic accident, a medical emergency, or something darker? The truth is, we may never know. But one thing is certain, Brandon believed he was in danger, and whatever happened to him unfolded in minutes, in the dark, alone. Brandon Lawson didn't disappear into thin air. He disappeared into uncertainty. A single phone call turned into a decade-long mystery, one that still unsettles everyone who hears it. If this story stayed with you, please like, subscribe, and share Midnight Minute.